Really haven't done too much on the channel, which I'm sure you're all aware of. Really since kind of being let down by the Master of Evil book that I was really looking forward to, and I know I'm not the only one. Um, I mean, in truth, it started the channel just to be like a repository or whatever for the fanfic narrations, which is really the only way to get it out into the world. There's different methods at your disposal of, being a fanfic author. Um, but I don't, and the story itself took like 4 years to write. And uh, I don't regret any one of them. Um, Now the story itself, the Ahsoka Balance of Truth, is not perfect by any means, but I think I learned or I taught myself how to write. Um, Long-winded. uh, like I said, the trilogy itself just expands from book to book, and part of the reason that it has taken so long between chapters for this book is that I'm going to say about a year ago, I really started hammering out my own IP. Now I know I've mentioned it on the channel with that Acari series, but that's already seen 4 books with a fifth coming. Um, and I'll have them on here. All of these links will be in my link tree on my bio on my homepage for this channel. But while I was doing some promo work for that first series, I ran into another passion I didn't know I had, and that's reviewing other books. Now, that came about by doing the book bounty process. So that's not like review sharing by any means. It's that I don't remember the term for it exactly, but um, at any rate, you score points for doing reviews, and then you use those points, you turn them in to have other people review your stuff, and it's a blind submission process. So author A is reviewing author B, while author C is reviewing author A. Yeah, I think I have that right. At any rate, um, so any rate, getting into that review process really sparked a passion for the reviews themselves, which in turn really helps out the indie author community. And that led to another YouTube channel. And I don't post about once a week on there. Just it's a new book every week, and the channel's primary focus is horror. I started out with sci-fi, but I am overladen with horror books, so I decided just to keep the channel horror related. But if you have any interest, I'll have that info on the screen in the post description. And like I said earlier, it's also in my link tree on the homepage bio here. But she didn't come here for all of that. Uh, well, I didn't get to there's another series of books that I just started with a third one in that coming out, and it's the Keymaster Legacy. It's a Leo and Elspeth volume 1, 2, and 3. Well, it will be 3 shortly. Uh, that's an MG thriller horror adventure series that has the potential of spanning generations, just with multiple volume installments. Um, I have a lot outlined for that particular series, and it'll be co-authored by my daughter at some point, probably volume 5. We'll have to see how things go in the next few months, but volume 3 should be out within the next week or two for that. But all of this, and this is kind of where I'm getting at, this all started with that passion for writing Star Wars fan fiction. And that's really been the direction of this channel, just in general, is Star Wars literature. Um, I've made points where I could. Um, some of it was received well, some of it was it, it definitely didn't have the same opinion I did, especially when it comes to the more recent initiatives by the Disney-led coalition in the literary world. Um, I have just a lot of issues, and that was the last video that I put out on this channel regarding Star Wars literature. Is just the overabundance of exposition. It I understand common sense. I'm not a stupid moron. And I assume anybody that's consuming Star Wars literature feels the same way. You're not dumb. Why are all of these authors that normally, mind you, don't spend a lot of heavy or spend a lot of time and waste pages on heavy exposition, especially with something as developed and in the mainstream as Star Wars itself, when their original works outside of this IP are almost non they almost have no exposition. And I dare you to look that up. Take Adam Christopher, for example. Um, just look him up. Look up a lot of his other works, and then tell me why we have to spend so much time exposing stuff and things that we already know. It's Star Wars. Everybody knows what a TIE fighter sounds like, and I'm just using that as an example. You're not, like I said earlier, you're not stupid. And I don't understand why they insist on assuming that we all are. But I mean, that can lead down several different points. And I've used the channel as a platform in the past to just try to offer ideas. Um, I have to do it some ways, otherwise it just bakes in my head. Um, as far as like idea sharing, platforms that could absolutely be initiated by Disney, Lucasfilm, whatever. Um, Instead, we see them trying to take over the AI market and try to copyright the work being done by independent creators, artists, authors to wrap it under their umbrella and make money off of it instead of trying to offer a hand in outreach to groom a community, where ideas are always flourishing. So, yeah, this isn't like a hate session or anything. It's just apathy almost at this point, especially with all the news concerning the movies and the delays in TV shows. It's like there's so much other things to do and consume my time with and money. Like, this isn't me signing off on Star Wars. I don't think anybody does that. We always come back to it. We have our favorites. We watch the movies, but I don't know. Unless there's some initiative where they can start giving authors a little more free reign to, I don't know, write adult books for once, that would be outstanding. Not hold my hand the whole time. Let me, reveal things that I may not have known about the Star Wars universe through the narrative itself, through the lens of the character, without holding my hand and explaining every rivet. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then you need your hand held. There are those people too, and it's no knock on you. It's just my personal preference. I want an adult book, and Disney has yet to deliver on that. So I don't know. That's why I just kind of strayed away a lot from the content here. But I want to come back to it because the project that I wrote is still a passion. Um, like, there is the trilogy itself that's been up on archive for, I got almost 2 years. Uh, with another book is a work in progress. I left off, I think, on chapter 8 or 9 of book 4 for this whole thing, um, in like December of 24, and I haven't touched it since. But And you see with all the crap I have on the screen here, I've been, extremely busy just doing my own thing, and trying to support the indie community. Now, one of the things that I do want to mention, though, if you are interested in that horror review channel, is that I took the time to look into merch and stuff for it, and I mean, it's got a very very small sub base right now, but I wanted to hit the floor running with a storefront for it. Now, that storefront itself, uh, like 50% of the proceeds from that are going to go to uh, not NPOs. So things like SLF, HWA, these are organizations that help out independent authors, creators, artists with different grants, um, to help them get their work out into the world. And having a review process and review channel is also a way of doing that too, outside of also generating, or not generating, but just creating more or adding to the community in general. And if you haven't been a part of that indie author community, it is quite something to behold. And a lot of those works that are in there, regardless of genre too, um, kind of harken back to what I'm talking about as far as exposition versus revelation. And there's an insane amount of authors that are writing with almost no exposition, and they're quite successful at it, allowing you to experience things in a revelation or in a reveal setting. It's like, eh, I don't know how to phrase it beyond that. If you know, I guess. But at any rate, I'm gonna try and wrap this up. But you're gonna have two back-to-back Ahsoka narrations here. It's kind of at the heart of this story now, and really will propelled uh, my determination and motivation to finish out the trilogy. Um, the latest chapter is the Vader versus Ahsoka scene that I really, really enjoyed writing. Like I said, it said earlier, it's rough around the edges. This is my first major writing project, and even that being said, I am still insanely proud of it. And yeah, I hope I hope you enjoyed. Well, signing off for now. I'll try and touch base a little more often, but I will keep on top of the narrations, just because this story, it does mean a lot to me, and it is starting to get pretty good. But anyway, check you later.